SmackDown Hot Takes. I already filmed this once today, forgot to hit record. I had to work, I had to go to a funeral, and now here I am. I've got 2 hours to film and release this. Let's get going. This should be fun. So, yes, WTF patch. Oh, come on, Drew had the promo of 2025. He should win the Berlin match, or else he's done for, man. Holy cow. When Drew McIntyre said, I'm going to send you to hell and tell your dad I said hello to all people, to Cody Rhodes, the dude who bases his entire story on the fact that he's the son of a plumber, Dusty Rhodes. That was, what a beast. What a savage that Drew McIntyre is, once again showing why he deserves the championship. But will they give him the championship? He called his shot. He said 3 stages of hell on, I think January 9th. God, I wish, man, what does he do if he doesn't win the title here? What does he do? I guess he enters the Royal Rumble, and then he enters the Elimination Chamber, and then he pretty much has a nothing feud at WrestleMania. And that seems to be what he gets. Oh, please, 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 even if it's just 3 weeks. Let Drew McIntyre win right here. Let Drew McIntyre win, please. I'm begging you. Have Nick Aldis turn here. Have Nick Aldis turn heel and help Drew McIntyre win. That's a power couple? No. A power dynamic? A two-man power trip? I don't know. Those would be two cool dudes as heels. Nick Aldis heel GM and a Drew McIntyre heel champion for 3 weeks. That's all I'm asking. Let Drew win on the 9th and let Cody win it back. If we have to have Cody versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania, have Cody win it back at the Rumble or even Elimination Chamber. We don't need 855 days of a title reign anymore. Don't forget Stone Cold Steve Austin. I think the longest he held a title for was 91 days. That's like 3 months. Don't quote me. I don't have time to fact check that. But like, for real, they used to flip the title all the time. Right before WrestleMania 15, The Rock won the title at Survivor Series. And then he lost it twice. On the way to WrestleMania against Mankind, Mick Foley. Please, for the love of God, give it to Drew McIntyre. He deserves it, and he's just good. He's just great. This feud should be long dead because it's honestly it's not that good. But Drew, whenever you allow Drew to just unleash the Drewness of Drew, then he's amazing. Come on. What a savage line. Tell your dad I said hi in hell. Can you imagine? That would hurt anybody's feelings, let alone Cody's. So like, that got me interested again. That's the power of Drew McIntyre. He can get me interested. I think it'll be way more better for Cody to have to chase the title, even if just for 3 weeks. I promise you, he'll be more interesting. He'll be more interesting if he has to, if he loses, and it would be chef's kiss. Let's do, Tis Mickey. So I already knew Carmelo was winning the U.S. Championship. People spoiled that as soon as it happened, but I did not know about the possibility of a Trick call-up. I'm so excited to see him versus Melo on the main roster. Okay, so we'll talk the spoiler on the U.S. title in a minute. I love that Carmelo won. Yes, finally he is him, and I love it. I've been wanting it for a minute now. But yeah, Trick Williams. What he saw? My pepper slippers. What do you call them? My what did he call his shoes? It was my lemon pepper slippers, loafers. I don't know. It was funny though. Trick Williams felt like he belonged last night. At first, I thought they were gonna drop the ball instantly when Cody came in and was like, "Hit the brakes, kid." He didn't say that, but that's basically what he said. And then Trick walked away. But then Trick came back and got in Cody's face. And then who walked away? Cody, he walked away. Trick Williams looked the part. Sometimes an NXT guy has to kind of like gradually build up to look like they belong on the main roster, but the confidence in which Trick carried himself last night. Great stuff right there. So happy that he did not back down from Cody Rhodes. He didn't say, hey, champ, I respect you, and I'm coming for that belt eventually. Nope, he was just like, yeah, I don't like the way you talk to me. You better watch yourself. Because I am coming. That Trick Williams, awesome, amazing stuff right there. Sorry you did get spoiled about Carmelo Hayes. I'm sure it would have been way cooler if you had it. Oh my God, it was a miracle. I had to bop and weave through everything on the internet. I basically looked at the internet with one eye open or one eye closed. Well, I guess that would mean one eye open throughout the entire week, making sure if I saw any inkling of an Ilya picture or a Carmelo Hayes picture, I look away. I shun all the spoilers. Also, if next week isn't the last match, this is also still Tiz Mickey, between Aleister and Damian, I'm gonna scream. I don't think she's gonna scream in a good way. Holy cow! How is Damian Priest and Aleister Black going 6 months? A 6 months feud? Those two, it's insane. On paper, this probably looks like an awesome feud, right? They had fireballs. They've had heel turn managers. We had people put on shelves, through tables. But in all honesty, it's no, this would have been a solid 2-month feud going into SummerSlam or maybe a Saturday Night's Main Event, Clash in Paris. But the fact that this started before SummerSlam, and then it's now all the way into the following year. Not one PLE match. That's insane. This is not long-term booking. This is drawn-out booking. And yeah, this needs to end. I know how it's going to end. It's going to be they end up in a tag team. They're a tag team now, and then everyone's going to be like, oh, Papa H, that long-term booking. No. This booking was put in a microwave. He put 5 minutes, but he accidentally hit 50 minutes, and it's just been going this whole time. So it's whew. All right, Damian Priest, Aleister Black. Let's end that, please. 3 months ago. Lucius Brown, I'm glad Carmelo got a push. Now give Julia a push. I agree. I don't understand why Julia is facing another heel for a mid-card title when Jade Cargill could use an opponent. No shade on Meacham, no shade on BFAB, but they have been presented as the lowest of the low card, and Jade should be facing top tier talent right now. She should be facing challengers that aren't at the bottom rung. And why not just have Julia turn on Kiana James and boom, you got a face right there for Jade to fight. Let's push Julia. But yes, happy also for Carmelo Hayes. Reina Reps, I can't believe they did the title change on a taped show with all the spoilers. I understand that sentiment. It would be nice. I think people there'd be more of a buzz, more of a groundswell of support, even if the Carmelo Hayes title change was a surprise to everybody, because everybody would have walked in and been like, yeah, Carmelo's not winning, and then they would have been like, oh my gosh, I was very pleasantly surprised that Carmelo took the W. Couldn't believe it even. I was for sure thinking that Tama Tonga was going to get involved, costing Carmelo the win, and then we would have next week Tama versus Ilya, and then we would have Carmelo. I thought Carmelo was going to win on his third try, to be honest with you, but I was pleasantly surprised that he got it before 2026. And, but where was I? Oh yeah, it was on a spoiler. Can you believe that? On a taped show. Now I am going to say this. I am going to play devil's advocate here. Bear with me. First off, I agree. I wish it was not on a taped show. However, we can have discussions of other opinions and stuff on this channel. So I will play devil's advocate now. And as the devil's advocate, Chop has no glasses, all right? Can't see nothing right now. How many fingers am I holding up? Anyways, so devil's advocate is that once upon a time, remember when I said that The Rock lost his title twice on the way to WrestleMania 15? One of them was on a pre-taped show. It was on, I think it was the first Raw of the year. And Mankind, Mick Foley, beat The Rock. It was pre-taped, right? And what happened then was, on the other channel, WCW, Eric Bischoff, Tony Schiavone told everybody the results. Someone told the results. I can't remember who it was. But Tony said, that'll put butts in the seat. But they told the results. So they spoiled it for everybody. Everybody knew that Mick Foley, his first ever title, World Heavyweight title, was going to happen. And it was not a surprise because they literally said it on Nitro. The thing is, though, that everybody was like, wait a second, a title change? No way they're putting it on Mick Foley. And everybody turned the channel. So maybe, just maybe, by saying that, by having Carmelo Hayes win the title on a pre-taped, that created a buzz that will make more people ironically watch it, because before they might have been thinking, no way Carmelo Hayes is going to win, I'm not going to bother watching it, but now they're thinking, holy crap, Carmelo won, I gotta see this happen. I think we should have done it as a complete surprise, not on a pre-tape. But there is an argument and historical evidence that a taped title win can move the needle. So just take that for what it's worth. Let's go with TTJC. Them going back to 3 hours is going to be a good thing, given all the new talent and stories SmackDown has. I disagree with you, TTJC, but I love you nonetheless. You are a very valued member of the Wrestlechop community, and again, we can have difference of opinions. I don't want 3 hours at all. I get the sentiment though, but that'll create more stories. That'll allow more people to get airtime, and you are right. Carmelo Hayes is now champion. Ilya Dragunov is a former champion. We have Oba Femi. Ooh. We have Trick Williams. Whoop that Trick. We have Lash Legend. We have a plethora of new NXT talent. Joe Hendry. But it's like, you know what? Honestly, we had 3 hours before and they didn't do much with it. They just added like 2 extra 30-minute matches. And then I would argue this. During the Attitude Era and Ruthless Aggression Era, they were just fine with 2 hours. Then they were able to jam-pack a lot of stuff in there. I'm afraid that 3 hours is just going to be dragging things along. Kind of like the Damian Priest, Aleister Black feud. We're just going to drag it along because we got a lot of airtime to fill. In fact, I loved this SmackDown because, well, you know, they kind of cut out 40 minutes of just nothing commercials because it was a pre-tape. So, like, ironically, I think they do better when they have a smaller amount of time. In principle, TTJC, 3 hours is a good thing, but I just don't think Triple H uses those 3 hours to the best of the time allotted. So let's keep going. Let's go all the way to the top. We got why the Trick Williams introduction could have been a bigger deal by going ahead and calling him right after Mello and during the insane pop instead of taking a light jab at Cody. Okay, so like I am happy with Trick's first appearance, but you are right. It would have been way better if Trick instantly came out and attacked Carmelo Hayes. I know that would have kind of spoiled Carmelo Hayes' moment of just soaking it in, baby. But could you imagine if Trick had done that? Not only did we just elevate Carmelo Hayes, but we're instantly making a statement with Trick Williams. I think that would have been fan-freaking-tastic. But instead, we get later in a backstage promo, Johnny Gargano doing it. Johnny Gargano, no offense, just like Meacham and BFAB, he's been treated as a low-level jobber, and why would Carmelo Hayes, you're a champion, be feuding with a low-level jobber at the moment? And he's a tag team low-level jobber at that. It's like, again, I know Johnny Gargano is nothing but talented, but but he's also hasn't been treated as such. And so, like, I'm like, why? Like, it would have been so much better if Trick Williams, or if we had to have the Cody and Trick segment, then have Trick attacked instead of it being Gargano, have Trick be the one that attacks Carmelo Hayes. If Carmelo had to get attacked, have it be Trick. It would have been instant game changer, instant feud. That's what the U.S. title is missing. We've had banger after 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 banger. But where's the story here? The stories have been minimal. So let's beef up now the stories behind the U.S. Open, the U.S. title, because you know what? I promise you, DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns would be a banger of a match, but without a proper story, I really don't care. I really don't care about it. So, like, I get that we are getting good matches, but again, WWE is more than just matches. You need the overall thing, and I think a Trick Williams attacking Carmelo would be way more mouth-watering than a Johnny Gargano attacking Carmelo Hayes. But you know, whatever. At least Carmelo won. I cannot take, this is Kid Wilkes, I cannot take the MFT seriously with the goggles that Tama and Tala wear. Okay, I guess. I mean, why aren't they doing the face paint anymore? That's a little weird. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. Sometimes you feel like a nut, sometimes you don't. All men joys have nuts, moms don't. Sometimes you feel like and sometimes you. I don't know why I did that. But why do they wear the makeup sometimes and they don't? Just, pick a lane. David LaCour. Drew is an absolute beast on the mic. Yes, he is. Perfect ending, please. Please, for the love of God. Drew has to win. What does he do if he doesn't? There's so many times we can pull the rug out from under him. Go Boogie says, I really wish WWE would go ad-free, Raw and SmackDown, because it is better for us. Oh my God, it was so good. It was so good ad-free. I understand why they do it though, but like, come on. We have 40 minutes of ads because that's literally how early the show got over for me. It was an hour and 20 minutes yesterday, so that means there's like 40 minutes of ads. Then we got to see it on the ring. Then we got to see it over here. Brought to you by. It's just ad, and then they pull off the table. There's a Slim Jim. If they're going to climb a ladder, it's a fireball. So it's like, you can do ads, but geez Louise, sometimes it's a little overkill. Kid Wilkes also says Lash Legend should not be losing. No way, no how. I want to look for Donatello Leonardo's comment right there. They did such a good job keeping Lash strong until tonight. At this stage of the game, Lash should be kept away from someone like Charlotte, unless they're going to do a DQ finish. This would be the equivalent of Jacob Fatu losing clean to Braun Breaker instead of DQs. Oh my God, yeah. Jacob Fatu burst onto the scene last year and was like, holy cow. The dude just had to look at somebody and everybody would be like, oh my God, dream match. And so they kept Jacob Fatu very strong, and that's what they should have done. They created a star. But then Lash Legend, she comes in. She's looking pretty strong as well, but now she just lost. Why are we having Lash Legend lose, right? What does it benefit Charlotte Flair beating Lash Legend right now? Does it benefit anything? We could have DQ'd it. We could have had a DQ. We could have had Lash even win because Nia, Nia cheated, underhanded, the heels. Like, I'm pretty confident that babyface Charlotte could have ate a loss, right? I think she could have ate a loss and everybody would have been okay. It might have even furthered the storyline, but you can only lose for the first time ever one time. And Lash did it last night. Why? Why not save it for WrestleMania? Why not save it for something else? Have her win Queen of the Ring, and then she goes to SummerSlam undefeated, going for that title. Why not? Why not? It's like Lash should not have lost last night. That was the worst part of last night, Lash losing. Did not like that. And then we got Drew McIntyre should have been champ several times by now, says Lady Luthien. I agree with you, milady. We have Reina Reps, already read that one. Lucas Brown, I'm glad. Carmelo, I think I already read that one too. Ooh. Miz has tiny balls, says Little X Late. Interesting. I read someone say this already. Are we still doing the Jon Moxley little balls gimmick or act? It's like crazy. Jon Moxley, when he was Dean Ambrose 6-7 years ago, he was the one that started, I believe, the making fun of Miz for having tiny balls, and here we are, 2025. I guess it's Joe Hendry, and he needed something for a song. I'll give it a pass, but like I hope this doesn't become a thing again. Although I will say, Gunther actually made it funny one time, saying he had tiny balls. I don't know why I'm talking about these balls so much. Jimbo Slice says, so Tama Tonga versus Dragunov with a tease that went nowhere? Yeah, what was that all about? For weeks, we would have Tama Tonga in the background. Every once in a while, they would stare at each other, and Tama Tonga, like, nothing? Like, I don't know. I'm glad that Carmelo won clean, but like it feels like Tama Tonga should have done something. They should have, like, I don't know. Something should have happened between Tama Tonga and Ilya Dragunov, and it did not. Like, if Tama Tonga got injured or something, have Solo say, Tama Tonga, right now we're focusing on the tag team titles. We don't need you going after that right now. Later, in a year, in 6 months, in 3 months, you can. It was weird that we've had so much, like, teases, and then it just went poof. It went poof. We have Carmichael says, Merry Christmas to us. And all a good night. Carmelo gets his due. I'm so in on him. And also, Trick, the backstage fight was really intense and entertaining. Did you know I actually did not like Carmelo Hayes at first? I did not like him at first. The moment I liked him was he was like, I think it was match 3 or something against Andrade. Like, he had lost twice already. And then at match 3, he beats Andrade. And he goes up to Andrade, like, he beats him up or something. And he says, put the fries in the bag, you're washed. I thought it was so freaking hilarious. Here's a dude who's lost twice to him already, but he's so cocky. He's saying, you're washed. I fell in love with Carmelo that moment. And then the next week he was getting a haircut or something and it was still kind of awesome. And I was like, maybe I misjudged this guy. I did. He's awesome. He's amazing. Carmelo Hayes, I apologize. No, actually, I don't apologize. I didn't like him at first. They were presenting him stupid, and then they eventually allowed him to showcase his personality, and that's when I started liking him. I liked the character, and Carmelo Hayes became a good character. So, thank you. We have Chargers, and I've been upset all week because Carmelo Hayes' U.S. title change was spoiled for me, so I didn't even watch. Charger, I understand that sentiment, but it actually backfires because what happens is then Carmelo Hayes wins, and it doesn't move the needle, and then Triple H and company are like, see, they wanted to put it on Carmelo Hayes, but he doesn't get ratings. So I would encourage you that when you know that your favorite wrestler is about to do something cool, go ahead and watch it. I'm not reprimanding you. I'm just stating, not hating. And those are the words of Conan Liva La Lassa. The best SmackDown in months, says Aquinpool. Was it the best? I don't know. It was good. I liked it. 7 out of 10. Finally, Mellow to the moon. Let's go, says Chaos MD. Yes, to the moon and back. We got Hardy 8966. The Joe Hendry and Miz match was very frustrating. I'm a huge Miz fan and have been for a while, and I really dig him. Literally, and I don't dig him literally being the worst wrestler in kayfabe. So he's saying, in kayfabe, he's always losing. He is always losing. I think Miz is very much like Chelsea Green. Or Chelsea Green is very much like The Miz. Those two understand that they're going to have long-term employment if they are the ones that don't mind putting people over, no matter what. You call them, they are company men, company women. They will do what is necessary to get whoever over. They will make a fool of themselves, and they will laugh all the way to the bank. I do understand where you're coming from. I've had characters in the past where I'm like, oh, just let him win. Drew McIntyre currently is that guy for me. Granted, Drew McIntyre is booked stronger, but The Miz he knows his role, and I get it, though. Because The Miz, while he has started to get some of the respect from the fans, I don't think that people still fully realize how good this guy is. He is always 1 promo away from the main event. If Triple H called him and said, you know what, go out there next week and be mad that you jobbed out to Joe Hendry and they sang a Christmas song about your tiny balls, he would go out there and I'm telling you, we would be talking about that Miz promo for weeks, if not years. I wish they let Miz actually just cut loose because when he's allowed to, man, so good. Go watch his Talking Smack promo against Daniel Bryan. That was a thing of legend. I understand why you would be upset as a Miz fan. The fact that this was Tozawa's most meaningful contribution of the year is a darn shame. That's from Ben P. Ben P says that, and okay, you heard Tozawa. And then Tracy Wood says, I can't decide if this was better or worse than his performance at Royal Rumble. Probably worse, because at least at Royal Rumble, he probably got a big paycheck for just getting blindsided like that. And that was Carmelo Hayes that blindsided him, by the way. Dalo Trey's Wrestling. I'm happy Melo got the U.S. title, but honestly, it's underwhelming. He got it on a pre-tape, so everyone was spoiled, and the rest of the show was basically trash, and then he gets beat up later in the show. What a bad way to start a title reign. So I already talked about that, like there is a benefit that maybe more eyes actually got on the product, and what a bad way to start the title reign. Well, at least there's a story, even if it's a minimal, a little wee bit story. A storyline is better than not having a storyline, championship or not. So I do get what you're saying, but I really wanted to say Dalo Trey's Wrestling. He is a up and coming YouTuber. If anybody wants to check him out, he's me and him have talked here and there, and good guy, good solid guy. And then we got Enko Cervinio. Hot take, honestly, Trick Williams is more world championship material than Melo will ever be. No shade on Melo. I don't see why that's a problem. Some wrestlers outshine other wrestlers. And now, I'm not saying Melo is not world championship material, but I agree that Trick actually just seems more of a world champion than Carmelo Hayes. And that's awesome. That's awesome for Trick. That's awesome for Trick Williams. But you know what? Once upon a time, Jey Uso did not feel like he was ever going to be a world champion. So, maybe Carmelo Hayes will rise up to the challenge. Trick does feel like a main event guy. But once upon a time, Mick Foley didn't seem like a main event guy. You could put The Rock and Mick Foley next to each other, and you could easily say, yeah, Trick Williams or The Rock is way more charismatic and a main event guy than Mick Foley. But that doesn't mean Mick Foley wouldn't eventually ascend to the main event. So you put Trick and Carmelo together, to me, yeah, Trick seems more of a main event guy. But that doesn't mean Carmelo can't be either. So let's just remember that. And hey, Miz and John Morrison. I would have put money on John Morrison having the career that the Miz had. So just because one looks like more of a main event guy than the other doesn't mean anything. They can easily both rise to the top, or, one can fumble, one can not. We shall see. Miz vs. Joe Hendry was bad, says Daniel Negan. I get why you would think it was bad, but I think it served its purpose as a comedy act, as a comedy lightheartedness. It was very reminiscent of when the Bushwhackers and the Fink would kind of get together and fight somebody, the Fabulous Rougeau brothers or something. I don't know. It was just lighthearted fun. I wouldn't want to see that again. Not for a while. I'm okay with last night, but if next week we have another, a New Year's Miz celebration party let's just all crap on, yeah, then I'll be like, yeah, it's overstayed its welcome. A segment like last night, the 34th Street opening presents and stuff, it's cute, it's funny in the moment, but too many of those definitely are not a thing. I don't want to see another one of those for maybe 2 or 3 years, to be honest with you. Then we got Love the Show Tonight. So happy for Carmelo. That's Tracy Woods. And then it was taped. So I taped it. Saturday Morning SmackDown. Says Teddy Boy Ward. What's up? Let's do one more. One more good one. Oh, here's it is. Hyper Finn says, can't believe they're still doing the small balls Mox joke. That's what I talked about earlier. Keith Caldwell says, please not Trick Williams. He's a lousy wrestler. The crowd is not going to like him. Well, I hate to break it to you, but I'm part of the crowd and I like him. So, like, and anything I can do to make the other people like him, I'm gonna. You're allowed to not like Trick Williams, Keith, but I am 100%. I'm on board. I'm all in on Trick Williams. Brian Brandt says, Carmelo is great, but Dragunov's title should have gone on longer. His matches are the best in-ring performances of the year. WWE is strong with stories and mic, but super weak in-ring quality. I hear you. I really do hear you, but I just don't agree. I'm okay with long title reigns, but if everybody has a long title reign, then it's not as important to me. And I like the title changing hand. Let's go back to what I said earlier. The Rock lost the title twice from Survivor Series to WrestleMania 15. And that elevated The Rock and Mankind in the process. So I'm okay with trading the titles back and forth to just to just go crazy. Now we don't want to do Vince Russo every week the title changed, but like Ilya holding the title for like 2 solid months and defending it every single week, that honestly, that would be like one of the best title reigns of the entire Attitude Era if that had happened then. So I'm okay with it. I do understand why you might it might leave a sour taste in your mouth. Ilya did a great job, but I think it's time for now Carmelo to do a great job. And hopefully though, the key thing here is it's okay for Ilya to lose the title, but now we have to have something for him. We can't just let him just kind of fade into obscurity right now. It's very, very important that Ilya is like his next match is as like there's some kind of story behind it. That's the key here. What are we going to do with Ilya after? So anyways, boys, girls, sorry it took so long to get this up. Thank you so much. Have a great and beautiful day.